Yu Yu Hakusho is a story about my man's named Yusuke. But before we get a chance to meet him, bruh dies in the middle of the street. So he just floating around, trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Cause just a second ago, my mans was chilling. So he go down and check out his own body, not even realizing that he's already dead. So the EMS pull up and we see them check on this little boy who was also in the accident. Turns out, little kid's just fine. But as for Yusuke, it's not looking too hot. So they start putting him on the stretcher and big Yusuke like, hold on now, what y'all doing? But they obviously straight ignoring him. What they didn't know was my Yusuke about it for real. And when he get mad, he goes straight to violence. So he go for a punch straight in this dude's skull, but flies right through him. So they take his body away and he more confused than ever. So he like, all right, let me go ahead and retrace my steps and try and figure out what the just happened. So it was just a normal day. He was kicking it at school, thugging as per usual, when his homegirl run up the stairs looking for him. Now like I said, Yusuke real gangster, his homegirl she real straight up, she love the rules. So she start giving him a lecture. She like, you don't ever go to class, you don't ever wear the uniform, you failing all your classes, you not about to graduate middle school acting like this, and that's embarrassing for me because we associated in some type of way. Whole time, Yusuke's not listening to a word she's saying. He ends up behind her talking about, shit, what you got back here? And she smashed the fuck out of him. As she should. He was moving crazy. So he just walking around and he run into these two nerd ass who was talking about him behind his back. They like, oh yeah, that dumb man, he ain't never gonna find out. And they automatically scary, running up against the wall. So Yusuke press him right quick, but before he about to do some real damage, this bum ass teacher pops up. Now he obviously don't like Yusuke at all. He's got a known reputation of being a delinquent. So he go ahead and kick him off campus without even asking what the story was. He like, whatever, I don't even got time to deal with you. I got better shit to do. So he go ahead and leave the school and head straight home. Cause this day so far has been straight bull. But when he get home, his mom's is on bull. Talking about, oh, if you don't like the rules here, you can go ahead and get a job and live on your own. But wait, you too young, you can't. So go buy me another pack of cigs. Yusuke like, alright, everybody on straight bull today. So he just leave the crib. He not about to go buy. He can't even walk outside for 5 minutes until he start getting jumped by these thugs, led by their funky ass leader, his quote-unquote arch nemesis, Kuwabara. But they not even close to being on the same level. He like, just who I was looking for, and starts whooping on him. He charges him with a right, knees him, kicks him to the ground, stomps on him, sends him flying. Yusuke doing all type of shit before Kuwabara can even react. He like, all in a day's work, just walking off. Turns out Kuwabara do this damn near every day. He like 155 or something crazy. I don't know who telling him to keep on fighting, but I respect the dedication and the grind. So now Yusuke is starting to put the pieces together because he finally remembers that this is where he met the kid. A ball flies across the sidewalk, landing right at his feet. The kid run up like,
let me get my ball back, big gangster.
And he like, hey bruh, it's cars going hella fast around here. You finna get splattered if you not careful. Kid not hearing nothing that he's saying. So he just make a couple funny faces, make the kid laugh, and let him go. Literally 2 seconds later, he sees the kid playing with the ball on the sidewalk again. But this time when he kicks it, it goes into the middle of the street. So the kid, being dumb, runs into the middle of the street going for it when a car comes flying towards him. Yusuke starts running to try and save him, but the driver doesn't notice in time, and the rest is history. So that's how we end up where we are right now. My man's Yusuke done turned into a ghost. Out the cut, old girl pop up talking about when people die unexpectedly, they can't go to heaven, they can't go to hell, we don't know where to put them yet. You say like, we? Who the fuck is you? And she like, oh, me? The Grim Reaper. Her name is Botan. Pretty much, she deal with the dead folk, right? So Yusuke start getting an attitude, talking about, you the Grim Reaper? You supposed to be wearing a black robe and with a scythe and everything, all that, the typical Grim Reaper stuff. She like, oh, okay, I know what type you is. So she pull out her little handbook and she start reading off all his attributes. She like, Yusuke, you're a meshy, hoodlum, 14 years old, fail all his classes, just overall no good. He like, all right, you're done. Trying to take the handbook away from her, but Botan just too quick with it. So he like, all right, whatever. What we even doing here? What's going on? At least let me know what happened to little dude who I tried to save. So they go up and check on him in the hospital. No brain damage, no broken bones. He perfectly fine. So Yusuke like, all right, that's all I needed to see. Go ahead, send me wherever y'all need to send me. I think we both know where I'm supposed to be. But she like, hold on, we don't even gotta do all that yet. I'm here to give you an opportunity to get your life back. Someone of your player build never would have saved a kid like that, so that done upped your karma points a little bit. Basically, don't nobody know where to send you, if we send you up there or down below. He like, what? Y'all expected me to just let the little die? But then she was like, honestly, if you wouldn't have saved him, pushing him to the ground, the driver actually would have swerved to the left, missing him completely, and he just would have tripped, fell, and had one less scrape. So basically, you died for nothing. So Yusuke get all mad, obviously, because who want to hear that? They died for nothing, trying to save somebody. But she like, calm down, calm down. I'm here to give you another chance, remember? Yusuke fly off for a little bit. He like, I don't even need a second chance for real. The world might just be better off without me. Botan like, oh damn. To be so young with such a negative mindset, I'm sorry you've been living this way. But ain't no need to make hasty decisions. Spend some time at your wake, see how everybody react to it, and let me know your decision. So fast forward later to that night, he's there and see all of his classmates is around him. He instantly like, oh, they probably just got extra credit to come. But first person that he recognized, Keiko, is down there crying his name. And not just that, who comes barging in? Kuwabara, of all people. At first, they just think he's trying to do some ignorance, but even though they was quote unquote enemies this whole time, they done fought so many times and spent so much time with each other that they each other's closest friend. And now Kuwabara got nobody who could match up against him. He's there trying to bring his best friend back, but out of respect for the wake, is taken away by his boys. Then we get a scene of these two lame, funk booty ass teachers talking shit. Normally I want to pay no attention to them, but these really know how to piss me off. Look at my man's face on the, this ain't even my man's. Look at this face, bro. Low key, if I look like bro, shit, I might be hating on everything too. But they just straight talking shit about Kuwabara, who was grieving. They talking shit about Yusuke, who's already dead. Talking like, oh, I wish that car would have killed both of them. You know Yusuke hot as hell hearing this. Just wishing he could do something. But the principal steps in and saves the day. Every good series gotta have an bruh. And the in this series is Principal Takanaka. So he go ahead and shut their ass right up and goes in and pays his respect to Yusuke. He there talking about, nephew, come on nephew, you could have did something for real. He got tears in his eyes. Shout out to Then comes in the little boy who he saved with his mother. The mother pays respect and the kid pays respect as well. And this gotta make Yusuke's mom even more upset. Seeing the mother and the son just after she lost hers, of course they ain't mean no harm, but it's just gotta sting. So Yusuke out there thinking about his decision. He didn't expect so many people to be over here grieving because of his loss. He thought that everybody would just be happy that he's gone, but look at everybody now. So with all that in mind, when Botan reappears, Yusuke knows exactly what to do. Botan like, let's get to work. It's time for me to take you to the spirit world. Yusuke don't really know what the f going on, but it's not like he got much of a choice. Botan tells him that they're there to meet King Yama, the person who's going to be explaining Yusuke's ordeal. And Yusuke's immediately plotting on how he's going to take this King Yama down. If he's the leader of the spirit world, you know he's going to be big, strong, and ugly. So as he planning out his attack, thinking he about to rush him straight on, then get him in a headlock, do all type of shit, they make it to the front door. As the door opens, it's nothing like Yusuke had expected. It's people running around, filing paperwork on the phone, just doing all types of office job type of stuff, like the stock exchange. They make it to this big pink sliding door, King Yama's office. As they walk up, Botan bows her head. Yusuke looking around like, where is he? Where is he? Is he invisible? Turns out, this is King Yama, this short ass, baby looking toddler. Yusuke immediately write him off. He not taking him seriously at all. Botan like, show some respect. But Yusuke not going. But he go ahead and shrug it off. He like, I'm not King Yama. I'm King Yama's son, aka Koenma. So he go ahead and let him know what's going on. He pulls out of his pocket this golden egg. He like, Yusuke, this is gonna be your ordeal. This is how we'll decide if you're going back to Earth or not. Basically, all you gotta do is keep the egg with you. All of the energy from what you do and feel is gonna feed into the egg. If it's truly wicked, a monster's gonna rise and devour your soul. But if not, you get to move on to the next step. So not having much of a choice, he go ahead and take the egg. As him and Botan are flying around back on Earth, he trying to know what the next step is. Koenma had agreed that until the egg hatched, he was gonna keep a pulse inside of Yusuke's body. But if he gets cremated at the funeral, then there's no way he can go back to a body if it's been turned to ashes. But Yusuke stop and think for a second. He like, how am I supposed to talk to him if I'm a ghost? I can't communicate with him. I can't hit him. I can't do nothing. Botan like, what you can do is talk to him while they sleep and communicate with them through their dreams. So the first place they stop is his mom's house. She throwing a ruckus. She got bottles of liquor everywhere. She smacking the table, throwing a big old fit. Yusuke like, yeah, she not gonna calm down no time soon. So then he goes and tries to talk to Keiko. When he goes into her room, she's already crying while she sleeps. She was already dreaming about him, just running after him, but he's walking away. She can't catch up. When Yusuke visits her in her dream, he's like, it's hard to explain, but I'm coming back. I need you to stop them from cremating my body, because if I don't got a body, I can't come back to this world. Keiko gets the message and goes straight to his mom's house the next day. But seeing Yusuke's mom like that, she just didn't have the heart to tell her that Yusuke was coming back without even concrete proof. Because if she was wrong, that'd just be straight evil. Giving hope to a mom who lost her kid, but then it's not even end up being true, she just couldn't do it. So Yusuke like, damn, this little dream business ain't gonna work. So he asks Botan if there's another way he could get in touch with Keiko, and she like, there is one method. You can take over somebody's body and just walk up to Keiko in person. So Yusuke like, bet, I done seen that in movies and everything. But of course, it's not that easy. First, it has to be somebody that Yusuke already knows and who knows Yusuke. And second, they have to be oddly aware of the supernatural, like ghosts and stuff. Yusuke like, well damn, ain't nobody I know that's aware of the supernatural. But it turns out there is one person, my man's Kuwabara. They pull up on him and he instantly get the chills. He could feel that something's around him and his man's is like, whoa, what's going on? You think we being followed? He like, nah man, I'm getting a chill. Apparently, this is an ongoing thing with Kuwabara where he can feel spirits around him, like all types of random shit. Yusuke like, it's no way I'm about to take over his body. And as soon as he says that, Kuwabara turns around and looks right up at him at the sky. Yusuke talking about, we gonna have to find somebody else. But they don't got much time, so Botan like, this really your only option. So Yusuke like, alright, whatever. And Botan preps his body to be taken over. Now that he's ready, Yusuke only has 1 hour until the effect wears off. Any longer and Kuwabara's body not gonna be able to handle it. So Yusuke takes over his body and gets straight to action. So the first place he runs is Keiko's parents' restaurant. He like, yo, I gotta talk to your daughter. Normally, they know Yusuke. Like I said, they've been childhood friends for the longest. But they don't know who Kuwabara is. So they like, get the fuck out of here. He talking about, it's me, Yusuke. But they not going for that. They like, Yusuke just died in the accident this week. Now I don't take that disrespect. That was a close family friend of ours. And Pop straight throws him out the restaurant. So he start running back around the town. He look at his watch. He only got 45 minutes left. So now he's got to start running around trying to find Keiko. But these thugs pull up on him. Turns out Kuwabara got hella enemies. When he not fighting Yusuke, these other people is out picking fights with him. He straight whoop on the 3 of these like it's nothing. And they like, damn, I ain't think nobody could punch that hard but Yusuke. And Yusuke like, damn, I'm giving Kuwabara some street cred. So more time passed and he's still looking for Keiko. He ends up in an alley with hella thugs. I'm telling you, Kuwabara got too many enemies. He don't got nothing to do but fight. Of course, he don't got time for this. This hour is going by hella fast and his funeral is tonight. But it's not like he could run. They not gonna let him. So he end up taking all 20 of these thugs at once. And of course, he's the last one standing. He looked down at his watch. He's only got 10 minutes left. But luckily, he runs into Keiko's friends. So he pull up on him, but his face is all messed up from all the fighting he just did. He like, ladies, what's happening? And they all run. They just straight bolt. That was his one chance to figure out where Keiko is, and he blew it. But walking out of the store right behind him was Keiko. She looking for her friends. They was out shopping. Yusuke just look at her, and he like, damn. But now is not the time to freeze up. He got to go ahead and say something. He trying to figure out what could he say that would make her believe that he was actually Yusuke. He's known her all his life. What's something that only he would do? Time is running out. Shit's getting stressful. But then last second, he gets an idea. She instantly smacks the mess out of bro. Like, Yusuke, f you. But then she realized it wasn't even Yusuke. Or at least it didn't seem like it was him. She like, who is you? He like, you was right. It's me, Yusuke. And she like, don't play with me. As tears start falling down her eyes. She like, why do you look like that? And he give her the whole rundown. He gotta borrow Kuwabara's body, whatever. He like, you gotta believe me, please. She like, it don't matter if I believe you or not. It's ways that you move, talk, breathe that I just never will forget in 1,000 years. On some real, emotional, heart-to-heart type of shit. Yusuke like, I'm coming back. You just gotta believe me. But you gotta get my mons to stop the funeral. I know I be a dickhead from time to time, but I just need you to wait for me and keep my body alive. And she like, I'll wait for 1,000 years. As they go in for a nice old hug. But then Kuwabara gets his body back and he like, oh, I must have been doing something crazy. And he hugged her even tighter and she smacked the fuck out of him. She's like, my bad, and runs off. He like, nah, you good. I probably deserved it. Shit. Kuwabara just a good guy. Shout out Kuwabara. So she run over to Yusuke's old crib and starts telling his mom that he's coming back to life. And she like, he already did. Turns out she opened his coffin up to smack him one more time for leaving, but saw that his cheeks was a little red and that his body felt warm. She checked his heartbeat and it was there. just extremely slow. So she called off the funeral, and Yusuke realizes that the egg that he's been holding this whole time now has a heartbeat. He like, shit, Botan, it's been a good day, ain't it? I been doing good. But he been whooping on kids damn near half the time he had a body. So we not really sure yet. So the next day, Yusuke just kicking it, waiting for this egg to continue to grow. He's watching over Keiko while she's trying to get home when a handful of thugs pull up on her. They harassing her, doing all type of shit. But that's when the boss man pulls up. My man's Kuwabara. He go ahead and like, this is just a I'm sorry for what happened yesterday. You could go ahead and leave. I'll take care of these scrubs. So they get to scrapping, and Kuwabara and his people end up wiping them out. But the next thing that we see, they're getting in trouble by that same corrupt teacher who was talking at Yusuke's funeral. The teacher's basically like, I'm tired of y'all keep on getting into fights, up this school reputation. Here's what I'm gonna do. He looks right at Kuwabara's man's Okubo. He's got an agreement with the school, working a part-time job in order to help feed his family. But then the teacher's like, not anymore. Kuwabara's like, whoa, don't do all that. And he's like, sir, please, I need this. My parents can't work. I'm the only one providing some income for my family. And the teacher's like, yeah, I don't think so, buddy. You're done. And so Kuwabara like, hell no, we not doing that. We gotta figure something else out. And the teacher like, okay, how about this? If y'all don't get into any fights for a week, then Okubo could keep his job. But if not, then your mans is done for. Now y'all could tell from the 5 minutes that we got to see Yusuke in Kuwabara's body, Kuwabara got beef with everybody in the city. If he get in one single fight, his mans is done for. But he's like, alright, bet. I'll give you my word, I'm not getting into no fights. It's basically a death wish. Then we get a scene of the two corrupt teachers talking to each other later that night, talking about this is a perfect opportunity to get rid of Kuwabara. Yusuke's already dead. That's great for the school's reputation. But since we got Kuwabara's word on this promise, if he breaks it, we can kick him out, since breaking the honor code is such a high violation at this school. They over here plotting on the demise of these kids like they ain't got nothing else better to do. That's crazy. So we see Kuwabara and the gang splitting up after school. Kuwabara's like, Okubo, don't even worry about it. You got my word. It's a man's promise. So we see Kuwabara heading home, and Yusuke don't think he really about it for real. He don't think he's gonna keep his promise to his mans. And as soon as he's saying that, they see this lame ass teacher running up behind him. He's like, those thugs should be here any minute. Turns out this dude sent him up, so as soon as he left school, these thugs from this other school will pop up and get into a fight with him. Turns out it's the same dudes from the other day, and they pull up on him ready for action. Kuwabara straight dips. He like, I can't even do this right now. And they're like, oh wow, Kuwabara really a bitch. And that make him freeze up. You know he can't take that disrespect. So he look him dead in the eyes and walk right back up towards him. He like, you know damn well I'm not scared of y'all, but I ain't gonna fight. You could fight all you want, but I'm not gonna punch back. So they just start wailing on my mans. They kick him right in the gut, then punch him right in the face, hitting him to the wall. They start talking shit, and Kuwabara can't do it. He grab one by the collar and swing, but he thinks about his mans and stops midway. They like, oh, Kuwabara now, y'all, and they just start jumping him 3-on-1. He not fighting back. They really scary, because if Kuwabara was fighting back, he'd probably take them all 1-on-3. The teacher's just flabbergasted that Kuwabara is letting himself get beat up, and he like, I'll get y'all another day, and runs off. So Kuwabara sees his mans next day at school. They like, what happened? And he like, them thugs pulled back up on me, but I ain't laying finger on them, so we good. And his mans is like, we can't even have you go through this, Kuwabara. It's cool, I'll find another job. But Kuwabara like, I gave you my word, I'm not gonna break it. Out the cut comes this lame ass teacher. I still don't even know his name. He like, oh, there's some new bruises you got there? He like, yeah, them people you said was harmless pulled back up and jumped me, but I ain't lay a finger on them, so I don't even say nothing. Turns out he pulled up to give him a new stipulation. Not only do they have to stay out of fights for a week, but they all gotta get at least 50% on their science test. Now 50% don't sound bad until you see the scores that these got. I respect their word, I respect their honor, they fights, whatever, but these is stupid. One of them like, that's light work, I got a 45 on my last one. This dude like, yeah, I done got 57. We good. Okubo like, I got a 39, but if I study extra hard, I'll be straight. He like, Kuwabara, what'd you get on your last science test? My man's Kuwabara got a 7. A 7% on a test. That's embarrassing. Next thing we see, Kuwabara is actually putting in some work. He's studying on his lunch break as his mans is watching on. They don't even know if he really gonna be able to do it. It looked like he working, but going from a 7 to a 50 in like a week's time, I don't know. Of course, lame ass teacher in the background, hating for no reason. But Kuwabara just keep it pushing. After class, we see him heading into a bookstore in order to buy some more materials to study, when some more thugs from another school pull back up on him. He give him the same speech. They can fight him as much as they want. He not gonna punch back. And then the next day at school, he pull up looking even worse than before. At this point, his mans is like, Kuwabara, we gotta call this shit cuss. I'll for real just find another job. It's gonna be all good. But Kuwabara is a man of his word. Once he make a promise, he not gonna break it. So we see Kuwabara that night fell asleep while he was studying. Yusuke went to check up on him and decides to give him a little help. So he goes into his dream and helps him study the entire night. So the day of the test, Kuwabara is studying on his way to school. He got his head buried in his book when a couple of thugs from his school see him and they're like, oh, I hear he just letting people whoop on him. We might as well go get a free lick. So as they running after him, Yusuke tries to stop him, but obviously he can't do shit. So they end up chasing him around this corner when they run through a couple of girls, knocking one of them out. Yusuke remembers that Botan said when you're knocked out or when you're unconscious, you're closer to the spirit world. So he thinks he might be able to take over her body, and that's exactly what he does. So he goes into her body and blitzes right towards him. As soon as he catch up, he start putting their hands on them, just doing all three of them bad, 1-on-3. So Yusuke go ahead and leave her body, and we see Kuwabara taking the test. It looked like he struggled for a minute, but when we see him talk to his mans later on, turns out he cleared the 50 points that he needed. Okubo like, you saved me. And Kuwabara like, man, it ain't really nothing. Just a promise between men. So we get a view of the teacher grading his paper later that night. He's like, how'd he get 50 points? It should have been impossible. And he over here getting all flustered and angry when the other corrupt teacher pulls up behind him like, this all you gotta do. And he erased his answer right off of his test. And you like, see, he ain't answer this one. He ain't get a 50. He got a 49. Whole time, Principal Takanaka's there in the background listening to what they doing. So when the teacher gives Kuwabara his test back, Kuwabara is flabbergasted. He's like, no way, I checked the answers myself. I got 50% right. And the teacher just in his face with this ugly ass smirk. Kuwabara looks at the bottom of his test and notices the erased answer. He's like, that's what you did. And start getting hot. He runs towards him, about to let it all out, but Yusuke's able to hold his hand back from connecting the punch. Just look how scary this teacher looks. This is bad. In the end, Kuwabara's able to have enough self-control and just walks away, while the teacher like, oh, you gonna pay for this? Whatever. As he's smiling, thinking he got the last laugh, Takanaka pulls up right behind him. He's like, Principal Takanaka, you just see what that student did? And he like, shit, if you erase my answer off the test, I might have done the same thing. He like, damn, this nigga found me out. And he starts getting up all on his case. Oh, you better fix that man test before I get up on your case, and it's really gonna be a problem. I don't know why he don't just fire these two at this point, cause he done seen them talking crazy on multiple occasions. So Kubo's the one that gives Kuwabara the good news, saying that everybody scored over 50 points and he's able to keep his job. As they all walk off, Kuwabara turns around and happens to look right at Yusuke and Botan and give him a quick thanks. Just feeling his presence, knowing that he had to do something with it. So we back to Yusuke looking at this egg. He just chilling with Botan when all of a sudden an investigator from Koenma pulls up. It's lights flashing everywhere, thunder, clouds get dark, and then a blinding light and pops out the investigator, Sayaka. She's here to see how Yusuke's been doing, if he's been doing good, he's been doing bad, and just overall investigate how his life was to see if it's even worth bringing him back. The first person they check out is Keiko. The investigator knows they got some type of relationship, but it's real rocky. Neither of them wants to admit it, but they got a lot of love for each other. Keiko goes to go check on Yusuke's body while his mom's goes out of town. Turns out his mom's just left him chilling in a big pile of trash. The room's so messy, it's dirt everywhere, garbage everywhere, and she like, this more of a task than I'm even ready to take on. So she leaves, does what she gotta do, and plans on coming back. But as she's leaving, some hoodlum comes up to the window, lights a makeshift Molotov on fire, and throws it in as the whole house starts going up in flames. So of course Yusuke like, what the hell we about to do? Keiko just left the crib, and Botan like, maybe we could get Kuwabara to come and save you. He's real aware with the spirituality stuff, but Yusuke like, he probably on the other side of town. So Botan go off to go grab Kuwabara, and Yusuke's like, damn, what are we about to do? On the other side, Keiko hears some people running by talking about there's a fire on 4th Avenue, and she like, that's where Yusuke lives. So she starts running towards his house. Botan makes it over to Kuwabara, and he's over there training, doing his kicks, whatever, and she's like, you gotta go save Yusuke on 4th Avenue. And Kuwabara, being spiritually aware, he's like, oh, something's telling me to go this way, so he starts running down there as well. So Keiko makes it to his house and sees that it's his apartment that's on fire. She like, ain't no way. She runs up to the front of the line. People are there trying to pour water in, but it's not doing nothing. She tries to run in, but some people hold her back, and she's like, oh, y'all scary as hell. So she grabs a water bucket, pour it over herself, and runs right into the fire. She makes her way through the Yusuke's room, and his body is safe, but it's just fire all around him. So she puts all the fires out, wraps him up in a blanket, and throws him over her shoulder. As she's in there, the fire gets so bad that it blocks the exit. Yusuke asks Botan like, is there anything I could do? And she's like, I done thought of everything. There's nothing you could do at this point. But the investigator's like, there may be one way, but you're not gonna like it. He like, let me decide on that and just tell me what to do. She's like, you could use the energy that's been fostering inside of that egg and throw it to hopefully make Keiko a way out. but it's gonna use up all the energy in the egg and you're not gonna be able to come back to life anymore. That's it. So he looks at the egg and without hesitation throws it into the fire, making a path for Keiko to get out. As soon as she sees the path, Kuwabara makes it there and helps her carry Yusuke out of the fire. But he still don't know about Yusuke coming back to life yet, so when he sees that she's carrying Yusuke, he's like, oh, I don't know what the hell you got going on. But she's like, just believe me, we gotta get out of here before the police come. Yusuke's trying to follow him and see where they end up going, but Botan's like, at this point, you gotta stop. You already made your decision to throw your life away in exchange for Keiko's. You can't just keep lingering here in the living world. So Yusuke like, damn, everything's finally coming to terms with him. He asked the investigator like, is that really all I could do? And she like, I'm afraid that's it. So as everybody spins back to Yusuke's house, they're all happy that Yusuke's body made it out safely, but he's the only one that knows he's not coming back to life. He's like, Botan, go ahead and take me wherever you gotta take me. I can't even sit here and watch this. They don't even know I can't come back. So Yusuke, of course, at this point is already he's glad he was able to save Keiko, but at what cost? They say all good things must come to an end, but of course, this is not the end of the story.